WB Mason presents Spring Training Baseball. From Lecom Park in Bradenton, Florida, the southern home of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tonight, the Bucs host the Toronto Blue Jays as exhibition baseball continues and heading down the home stretch. Greg Brown and Bob Walk with you, and 1 week from today we get it going for real. The Pirates will be in Detroit taking on the Tigers, but some work to be done, and tonight we see Clint Hurdle's lineup. Interesting, Bob, we see Adam Frazier and Josh Harrison at the top of the batting order. You think this is something that we actually could see as early as next week?
I think so. You know, we're going to have that DH in Detroit, so you get a chance to get both these guys in the game. You know, we've had an awful lot of home runs down here in spring training early on right now, and if that's a trend that we're going to take into the season, got our fingers crossed that it is. Hopefully they're not solo shots. Hopefully we have some table setters, and these two guys could be very important in that role, especially in that first series in Detroit. We've seen what Jay can do over the years, obviously, but in the short time that Frazier's been in the big leagues, man, we know that kid can hit.
All right, we'll see Frazier and Jay at the top. We'll give you the rest of the lineup. The first pitch is coming your way with Chad Kuhl on the hill, getting his penultimate spring training start in. It's the Buccos and Blue Jays from Bradenton coming up next.
Who would say
you by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. By UPMC, making life-changing medicine happen. And by WB Mason, the official office supply and office furniture company of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's go Bucs!
Appropriate that he's on the mound tonight. It is cool here in Bradenton. And the first and only home night game on the spring schedule. First night game was played last night down in Fort Myers. The Pirates taking on the Twins. So back-to-back games under the lights as we wind down spring training 2018. About 60 degrees right now. It'll dip down into the low 50s this evening. Check out the Toronto Blue Jays starting lineup as they made their way down from Dunedin, Florida, about an hour's north of here. And it's Curtis Granderson, the veteran, leading off with Kevin Pillar. Strong spring for the center fielder, hitting .472. Justin Smoke bats third. Randall Grichuk A new pickup for Toronto, the former Cardinal Kendrys Morales, the veteran DH, and Gervais Solarte also picked up over the winter from the Padres. Then two of the top prospects in baseball, maybe the very top prospect in all of baseball, arguably, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette, and then Danny Jansen.
Chad taking his warm-up tosses. See his numbers from last season. Had a pretty darn good first full year. He evolved as a pitcher as the year went along. Kind of became more of a power guy. Broke a very hard swing and miss type curveball out about maybe the last 2/3 of the season. And hopefully we can see more of that stuff. And I think the command of that curveball is always going to be something for us to watch. He gets that thing going, throws it where he wants to. That's when he can get some strikeouts up there. And another thing too with Chad Grigg is he needs to be a little more efficient with the pitches and be able to get deeper in ball games. Last year they were so conservative with him. Every time he approached 100 pitches, they would snatch him out of the ball game. So if he's going to go deep, he's got to watch that pitch count. He wants to get up, throwing 7 innings, or at least into the 7th inning on a regular basis.
He went 4 1/3 innings his last start on Saturday against the Twins as he takes the pitch, does Granderson for strike 1. Jameson Taillon threw 96 pitches today at Pirate City. Last night, Trevor Williams approached 100 pitches. So we are definitely getting down to the nuts and bolts, the finish line. Spring training.
Steve's next to us. We'll have to later on tonight figure out what stage of spring training this is.
That's ripped to right by Curtis Granderson. Nice play by Luplow. Excellent play by Jordan Luplow, but it's a double for Curtis Granderson.
That's good fastball too, 96 miles an hour. The old guy can still turn on a heater, can't he? Granderson, not a youngster anymore, and he ripped that fastball.
The age of 36, the double. Check out that defense here in just a moment. Behind Chad Kuhl as Kevin Pillar steps in. That will not do the trick. Granderson will have to hold as Mercer throws out Pillar.
Oh, it's nice just to get that ground ball pulled to the left side after a leadoff double.
On the defense, Adam Frazier, we talked about it, the outset of this one, he's in left. Sean Rodriguez is in center, then Jordan Luplow in right. Moran, Mercer, Harrison Freeze, and Francisco Cervelli catches Chad Kuhl. Justin Smoke at the plate. Last night, Josh Bell played first. Starting outfield down in Fort Myers, Corey Dickerson, Starling Marte, Gregory Polanco. So David Freese plays first base tonight. Close pitch, but Jeremy Rehack calls it a ball. And it's 2-0.
Maybe tried to backdoor a little short slider that didn't get back in there in time to get called a strike. You can see the two-seam fastball that time making that little short run, except the opposite direction as it went the other way off the plate. You got to play that movement, just like when you're teeing off. Three and one now on Justin Smoke for Chad Kuhl.
25-year-old from Newark, Delaware. First full season in the major leagues last year. He went 8-11 in 31 starts with a 4.35 ERA. And that sudden spike in velocity last year was kind of the talk among scouts and members of the media. It didn't necessarily result in a spike in strikeouts, and I mean, that's not Chad Kuhl's game anyway, is it, Bob?
Well, I don't know.
Still finding out.
Yeah, you tell me what his game is. I don't know.
What got him to the big leagues, what the talk was when he was
I didn't see him come through the minor leagues. I heard he was a ground ball pitcher. Right. I never saw that guy.
Right.
So
the talk was he was a ground ball two-seam sinker guy. That's what was going to get him to the major leagues.
I mean, I saw an overpowering fastball, and then one day I watched him throw a sideline in Arizona, and before he was done, he wanted to throw some curveballs, and man, does he have a hammer. I asked Ray about that. I said, Ray, what's up with that curveball? And he said, hey, he's going to start throwing it. You see it there. He's going to start it. He's going to break it out. I'm going to use it to go along with that power fastball of his. But you got to command that big hard curveball. It's just kind of a show pitch if you can't throw it where you want to. Like, hey, look what I can do, but what good is it? You got to use it in the right spots, and you got to put it where you want to.
Randall Grichuk, acquired from the Cardinals for a couple of minor leaguers. He's battled early injuries this spring, first year with Toronto.
There's that power fastball there at 96, foul tip.
.142 strikeouts in 157 innings.
That's not bad. That's nothing to sneeze at. It's not all that far away from a strikeout per inning.
And there's a strikeout of Randall Grichuk.
Good fastball upstairs. That's the book on Grichuk, isn't it? Throw him heat, even if you're cool.
Upstairs.
Wow. At that location too. That makes it real tough when you throw that hard and can put it in that perfect spot up by the hands.
This is Kendrys Morales. Morales hitting .205 this spring. Second year with the Blue Jays. And a strike. This is another spring break game. So throughout our telecast, we'll be sending it back to our North Shore studios, and we'll be hearing from Rob King and Michael McHenry. Get their thoughts. Here's Francisco Cervelli.
There's a command thing we were talking about, with Chad, that he needs to improve, I think, to take that next step. You saw the target was fastball inside. Even the glove might have even been off the plate a little bit inside. You saw the fastball ends up and away, the opposite side of the strike zone. That's kind of what he needs to clean up a little bit.
He misses inside to Morales. 72 walks in those 157 innings. Came to the big leagues 2 years ago and started 14 games for the 2016 Pirates. Free's going to back up on the last hop, lead cool to the bag, and that does it. So the Jays do not score. We're going to head back to our North Shore studios for this WB Mason spring break with Rob King and Michael McHenry.
Greg and Bob, thank you very much. And Chad Kuhl is a guy.
Yeah, I think that everybody's pretty much counting on the younger guys to take a little step forward.
RAV4 starting lineup: Adam Frazier, Josh Harrison, Colin Moran, David Freese, Francisco Cervelli, and Sean Rodriguez. And bottom third, Jordan Luplo, Jordy Mercer, and Chad Kuhl.
You know, it's tough for, I think, young guys to really do that sometimes, that second year, you know, when they've already, you know, done pretty well that first season. And I think you could say that with Trevor and Chad both, that you look at what they did last year, and that was really nice. And now they got to do a little bit better. Yeah. It's a tough thing to ask for, but I think that kind of what the team needs for it to be able to go out there and win a lot of ball games.
Curtis Granderson makes the catch on the Frazier fly ball. We'll bring up Josh Harrison. And Joe Biagini learned just the other day that he would not be part of the rotation. Now it sounds like he's going to begin the year at AAA Buffalo. So it has been, I'm sure, a disappointing spring for him, figuring he had a good shot at being one of the 5 men in the rotation. Then they acquired Jaime Garcia. And John Gibbons mentioned, their manager, that Marcus Stroman has had a shoulder issue, but confirmed that he would be ready to pitch in the 4th game of the season. That was the other opportunity Biagini might have had, to be a part of the rotation at the start. But Stroman will be ready. The Blue Jays open up the season at home against the Yankees and White Sox. Pirates, of course, open up the season in Detroit next Thursday, and Monday, April the 2nd, is the home opener against the Minnesota Twins. Pirates.com for tickets to see the 2018 home opener and that first homestand of the year.
So Biagini's just got to go down and do the job. What we always say about our club is, how many times? 5, 6 pitchers? No, you're going to use 7 or 8 during the course of the season. So he's got to just get that stuck in his head and think, okay, I'm going to go down to Buffalo. I'll be the best starter they got down there when they need somebody, which will happen probably in the first couple months of the season. I'll be the guy they go to. You don't make the club, it's a disappointment. It's not what Biagini wished for, but you got to play the cards you got.
6'5", 240, 27 years old. Went 3-13 last year, made 18 starts. 44 total appearances for the Jays. Off of Jay Hayes' foot. Josh Harrison is batting only .188 this spring, but so often talk about the meaningless numbers of spring training. Just a matter of a veteran like Jay Hay, if he's starting to get that timing down, feeling ready toward the final days of the spring. Shallow right center.
Whoa.
And Pilar calls off Grichuk, who looked like he was having a little bit of trouble. And Pilar takes control.
I've found already today, when I was down that side of the field, it's hard to hear, and I think they couldn't hear each other as they were calling it.
Is that right? It's hard to hear down there?
Down in that part of the field.
What that is?
I don't know.
A little wind tunnel action?
Something like that, yeah. Tough down there.
Mm-hmm. Colin Moran now.
One of the most difficult outfields to play in a day game. I don't know about the evening. We see 1 or 2 fly balls a game messed up here. Every single game we play.
Moran, his first spring with the Pirates, hitting .302 with a couple of walks. Came over from the Astros in the Garrett Cole deal. And he will be the Pirates' starting third baseman.
Looking for some long balls out of him this year. He's going to be hopefully providing some pop in that third base position.
Moran hit some home runs at AAA last year, the Astros organization, and was looking for an opportunity to be their everyday third baseman last summer when he fouled a ball off his face shortly after his call-up.
It's about as freak action as you can have, right?
Yeah. Didn't hit the ground.
Just right off the bat.
Yep.
And hit him in the face. I don't think I've ever seen that. I've seen it maybe guys bunting, but never an actual swing. I'm sure it's happened more than once in the history of the game, but it's just very unusual. Biagini really got that slider in on Moran's hands. And a lot of right-handers, they'll use that slider against the lefties as a jam pitch. Try to elevate it a little bit. As a hitter, I guess you see that out there over the plate. You think you got him, and as you start the bat, that pitch just keeps moving in on you and catches the label.
Hard hit. Oh, that just ate up Bo Bichette, the shortstop. Rocket off the bat of Colin Moran for a hit.
Yeah, Bo just kind of tried to play that off over to the side, but ball just had too much on it. Couldn't make the adjustment with the glove in time.
David Freese now, ready to begin his third season in a Bucco uniform.
Seen Freese pull about 3 balls down, fastballs down that left field line this year. It's something that we used to never see him do. He'd always hit that fastball out to right center, constantly going the other way. His stance is a little more straight away. He's not closed off like he was. So he just kind of, his feet are parallel to the plate. I'm not used to seeing him go out and hook that fastball down the line for extra bases.
3 balls, no strikes on Freese, who last year hit .263 with 10 homers, drove in 52.
There's going to have to be an adjustment on everybody's scouting report if he takes this into the season.
It sounds like the buzz in camp, maybe all camps, is adjusting. We just heard Chad Cole talk about trying to adjust and counter this idea of the launch angle stuff. And you hear that about baseball anyway. It's a constant game of adjustments. Ball 4, first and second. For Francisco Cervelli. Joe Biagini, 5.34 ERA last year, walked 42 in his 120 innings. Struck out 97. Their rotation will feature Jay Happ, Aaron Sanchez, Marco Estrada. We mentioned Marcus Stroman and Jaime Garcia. Francisco Cervelli enjoying a healthy spring. A Grapefruit League batting average of .346 with a couple of homers.
Everybody has been getting that ball over the fence. It's in spring training. I don't know what that means, if anything, for the season, but something to keep an eye on. Something we hope continues. Hitting home runs has been a problem for the Pirates for a couple seasons.
Barrel Automotive League leader stat. Teams with the most home runs so far this spring, and you see the Pirates with 41 among all teams, but they lead the Grapefruit League.
Well, the Arizona numbers shouldn't be in there. I don't like that. If it was up to me, which it's not. But.
And you know who doesn't like that strike call is Francisco Cervelli. Not thrilled with the rookie umpire from Murraysville.
You thought it was high, huh?
Jeremy Rehack. Now makes his home in Cranberry. Attended Franklin Regional, played ball at OU.
Cranberry up there in Wayner country.
Yeah. Another Western Pennsylvania native is umpiring second base tonight. Jansen Visconti from Latrobe. So Western Pennsylvania well represented.
Umpires and quarterbacks, that's what we're known for. Hotbed.
Oh, the catcher Jansen doing everything he possibly could. But the wild pitch allows Moran to go to third, Freeze to second.
Just overthrew the heck out of that curveball. I mean, you know, especially a guy like Cervelli's never going to swing at something that bad. I mean, you want to get a chase, but you want to make it to the dirt.
Up the middle, and Cervelli takes advantage and plates a couple to give the Bucks a 2-0 first inning lead.
That's what it's all about. They make a mistake, you get a horrible curveball, wild pitch, put 2 runners into scoring position, and then you get the 2-out ground ball singles, knock them in. Score first, you win the game. Watch, we're going to win tonight now. You can lock that in if you want.
Nope. Won't bother to do that.
Need coffee. I get some more coffee.
No, got some in the radio booth. I went ahead and purchased the coffee and the coffee maker. Pitch is hit high in the air to left, and the catch made by Granderson. The 2-run single for Cervelli, and after an inning, the Pirates lead 2-0. Bob says lock it in. This is a Grapefruit League W.
In a chilly night here in Bradenton, Florida. 2-0 Pirates on the UPMC scoreboard. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. Well, before the ball game here on the field, a pretty cool event took place featuring a lot of Pirates players, coaches, and staff members. It's the Lemons for Leukemia Challenge. If you remember back a couple of years ago, there was the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Well, this is something pretty similar, except instead of pouring water on yourself, You eat a lemon and deal with the face you got to make after. The Pirates were challenged by a local 6th grader named Paige, who was diagnosed with leukemia back in January. Pirates Charities also made a $500 donation in Paige's honor before the game. And this was started, Greg and Bob, by two best friends, one 19 years old, the other one 20, in California. One of them has chronic myeloid leukemia and was given a year to live unless he gets a match for the bone marrow. Now, it was started to create awareness. This was the Limits for Leukemia Challenge for the National Bone Marrow Registry. And get this, one of the bucket list items for the young man who has the leukemia was to get the most people ever to sign up for the Bone Marrow Registry on one day. And back on March 4th, they had nearly 4,000 people to do it. So it was March 1st, not March 4th. More than almost 4,000 people signed up in one day, the most ever. So it's a pretty cool thing. If anyone wants to take a part in this, visit bethematch.org. That's bethematch.org and participate. And Greg and Bob, maybe I'd like to see you two eat a whole lemon at once.
Or you, Robbie. Have you done it yet?
I have not. But if you're willing to partake, I'm happy to join in as well.
We'll do it.
Get this together.
I've already had uncountable lemons and limes in the last month. So
really?
Down here, yeah.
Whole ones? You eat them whole?
No, just slices.
You have the kids or the grandkids take pictures of your face, your funny face?
No funny faces.
Okay.
None whatsoever.
It'd be funny to see you do that.
This is, Florida. It's Margaritaville.
It does make sense, yeah. Margaritaville, huh? Uh-huh. And Gervais Solarte leading things off against Chad Cole. I don't think they had funny faces. They were serious Bucco fans. Had three young fans as we were making our way down for the Open tonight. Gus and Simon Passarello Carnavale. There are some serious Bucco fans. I think they told me they were 10 and 9, the brothers. And Dixon Fate, Lloyd Fate's grandson, was also in the stands seeking autographs. Dixon, like his grandfather, great Bucco fan. We lost Lloyd Fate a little over a year ago, and nobody enjoyed his Buccos more than the great Lloyd Fate. Always that spring training optimism in every camp in Florida and Arizona. There's the excitement of getting spring training started. There's the grind of a 33-game schedule. And as you know, just about what the team will look like, just about set. Though the moves have to be made official in the next few days. These players are really getting anxious to get it going and make it count.
Well, I think they
deep to center field. A shot by Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
That strong throw to second. Almost hit the bag.
Blue Jays fans extremely excited about the prospects.
Watch this swing. That's on the outside half of the play. You get a ball out. I mean, already you can see he's a dangerous hitter. I don't know if he's a good hitter yet, but he's a dangerous hitter.
Look at this bullet.
They crushed that one.
He is.
Look at this throw.
Yeah, that's Sean Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's made some nice throws this year.
Now Bo Bichette. So talk about two great bloodlines here back to back. Vladimir Guerrero, who was voted into the Hall of Fame this past January. His son standing at second with a double. Dante Bichette, great hitter for the Colorado Rockies. His son Bo, who played in A-ball last year. 20-year-old St. Petersburg, Florida native, Bo Bichette.
Boy, looks young, doesn't he?
He does. Top 2 prospects in the Blue Jays organization in the lineup back-to-back here. Just 3 at-bats for Bo Bichette. Major League spring training games. Second round pick in 2016. And Cool misses with that one.
Got to get it closer than that. I mean, look how much that ball moved, the sharpness of that. Real hard curveball, but it was so far out of the strike zone. Even a youngster like Bichette can say no to that pitch with 2 strikes on him. You know, if that ball's, say, 4 or 5 inches off the plate, you got a real good chance of getting a swing and a miss. Or you can just throw 97.
Do that.
Set him down like that with a power fastball of Cool's. He just threw that one right by him. But I think one of the keys to the next step, command of that curveball, is instead of throwing it way outside, just, you know, off the plate by the width of your hand, something like that. And there's not going to be too many guys not good enough to lay off that pitch, especially when there's 2 strikes. You know, they might be able to lay off it if they're ahead in the count and they're kind of cherry picking on a certain thing, but you get them being defensive, they're going to swing at that if you can get it close.
Cervelli off target and leap. Jay over to cover.
You see that ball really sink and tail. Cervelli didn't stay behind the ball on his throw, came off the inside of it. Didn't get any backspin on the ball. And watch Cervelli. There he is. Yep, yeah, it went that way. And then he gave a little wave like thanks for catching it, so I didn't get an error. Appreciate that.
Danny Jansen, another one of the Blue Jays prospects, grounds to short.
That's the good curveball there. See the location on that, baby? It's a weak ground ball with it.
And we'll head back to our North Shore studios for this WB Mason spring break with Rob King and Michael McHenry.
Greg and Bob, thanks. And we were talking about Chad Kuhl pitching up in the zone, the curveball down. You also mentioned when we were talking about Chad Kuhl, the variations in the speed. So what makes those 2 things tough for a hitter up at the plate?
You know, a sinker ball guy, your approach as a hitter usually is see the ball up, get it elevated so you don't top the ball right in the ground. As a ground ball pitcher, that's what's going to happen if you continue to try to hit that ball and don't catch it out front. But as soon as you try to catch it out front, that 83-mile-an-hour curveball is going to make guys stay back. That 90-mile-an-hour slider can sometimes speed that guy up. And then you think about that fastball up. As soon as you go up, you can add mile per hour. So it's like 3 to 4 miles per hour as soon as it goes up. There's a good at bat right here with Grichuk that we can show you that will really explain this sequencing of how this all worked out. He's going to start him off with a breaking ball. It's going to go in and out of the zone. Even though he didn't swing at it, it's still in the back of his mind. And then he goes in with that really good sinker. You see him top that ball. Right here he misses just over with that fastball. Kind of cut, maybe pulled it off a little bit. But you saw he wanted that attempt, and then here it comes again, right close to his eyes, which speeds up the hitter automatically. And that's a great, great sequence and a great evaluation of being able to use the shadows and how good his arm is.
And obviously, look, some work on the command, as Bob was talking about, but the arsenal there is pretty impressive for Chad Kuhl.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about a guy like Charlie Morton, he's got stuff like Charlie Morton. He's got the ability to throw a sinker at 95, 96, can run it up to 98, 99 with that four-seamer. Same thing Charlie Morton could do. The one thing he can do a little different is he has a true slider at 90 miles an hour, which Charlie Morton did not have. So I think this guy has a huge upside. I expect him to go further into games. He was one of the shorter guys all last year in innings pitched. He's got to go out and compete from pitch one.
All right, let's head back to Lecom Park now and Greg and Bob. Guys?
That point that Michael's made right there at the end about the slider, a true slider. I mean, that was from From my day, that was what you call, a lot of guys will call that a cutter nowadays, but it's a nice little short slider, easier to control than a bigger breaking ball. And there's times where, you know, I've been talking about controlling that curveball. Well, you're just not. It's not going to be there that day. That gives you something. You get some movement. You can throw for a strike. It's a little different speed. It is another nice weapon that he has, that little short breaking pitch, the slider, hard slider. Steve Blast slider right there.
Yes.
Nice short.
Yeah. Tight.
I bet you Steve likes to see that one.
Yeah.
There's Steve's buddy.
Ray Searage all bundled up.
It's like Obi-Wan when he's got
yeah. Jordan Luplow to the shortstop, Bo Bichette. So the first out, first batter, goes 6-3. It'll bring up Jordy Mercer. These Buccos are back home for another season starting Monday, April the 2nd. 1:05 opening day at PNC Park. All fans will get a Pirates wall calendar and a magnetic schedule, all presented by PNC Bank. We invite you to head to the North Shore early for all the opening day festivities out on Federal Street. And you want to get inside the ballpark for all the pageantry, the pomp and circumstance of opening day. Tickets still available at pirates.com. It'll be Jamison Tyone on the hill for the Pirates against the Twins. Tyone pitched over at the minor league complex earlier today. 96 pitches for Tyone.
It's so funny down there. Mercer just took one off his foot and they're laughing.
Yeah.
It's not right. Where's the crowd mic at? I want to see who's laughing at Mercer. Now, if you're around Cervelli, you're always laughing. Except you know what? Serpico doesn't smile.
No, he does not much. Not on the field.
No, he's Mr. Business when the baseball game's on.
Toward the corner. Tough play, and what a catch that is from Randall Grichuk.
Beautifully done. That wind really pushing that one away from him. It's blowing hard toward that corner. I mean, those flags are starched out this evening. It got a good strong wind blowing, and it just keeps moving that ball further and further away from him. He stayed with it. Wow. In the old days, he would have ran right over the bullpen mound.
Justin Drew is up there.
Hold on to something.
Yeah. Cameraman out there.
The birds are having a hard time. Nice mix of seagulls and buzzards today.
They're not used to this game time. It's game time change for them.
Got them all thrown off.
Cool gets jammed. And 1-2-3 for Biagini. We have played a couple of innings here in Bradenton. We're heading back to Pittsburgh, the North Shore Studios, for another WB Mason spring break with Rob and Michael.
All right, thanks very much. We're in the clubhouse here at PNC Park, and the reason we're here is because in a couple of days, these guys are all going to be coming up and getting, for some guys, the first look at the clubhouse, for other guys, a familiar look. What's it like for a player when they come back here knowing this is going to be their home for the next 6 months?
It's special. You know, as a returning player, it's your next year in the big leagues, getting around, you know, seeing your locker. All the clothes are already unpacked, everything's done. It's really cool. I mean, you just look around, it's just got an aura about it. The giant P right in the middle, which we called the Death Circle when I was here. It's just a special place, special moment when you actually get here. You've been kind of in that dog days or that grind in spring training in the small clubhouse, and then you come here and it's obviously really, really nice.
How about for the players that used to come in and be visitors and go into different clubhouses? Is it unusual to walk into an old stadium, but for the first time you're a home player?
Yeah, it's really strange. You know, when I did the opposite. So I was on the home team coming in here, and then I went that first time to the visitor locker room. I'd never been in there. Played here 3 years, never been to the visiting locker room. Then I go in. It's kind of that weird feeling. You see a bunch of people you know, say hello. It's It's really strange.
And then for new guys, some guys, this is going to be their first look ever at a major league clubhouse, and that's got to be a pretty awesome feeling when you're used to minor league clubhouses. And the spring training facilities, as nice as they are, aren't like this.
Right, you get those butterflies as soon as you start to pull in that front door. You walk in, go in the manager's office. That's the first thing you do when you get to a new club or you get called up. You go say hello to the manager, tell them you're here. Usually it's a congratulations if you're a new guy, and then you walk in and you kind of scan for your plate and you just take it all in. It's one of those special moments.
Oh, cool stuff as we head back to Lecom Park and Greg Brown and Bob Walk. Guys?
All right, thanks, Rob and Michael. Look inside the Pirates clubhouse. It'll be busy in a little over a week. Robbie and Smikowski always busy. He's downstairs with a guest.
Yeah, I'm hanging in left field, actually. I have a lot of guests here. How about to the tune of 30 of them? The entire Shadyside Baseball Academy team holding their spring training in Orlando, Florida, spending a week down here. Hear all the boys, wave hello, say hi to everybody back at home. Spend their week here. Head coach Jordan Steranka, pitching coach Chris Peters. That name might sound familiar. Former Pirate Chris Peters. Say hello to everybody back home. Chris, give them all a big wave. Jordan, give everybody a wave back home. They open their season April 6th against Avonworth, so we wish all you guys the best of luck as they get their 2018 campaign kicked off. Not only that, on the other side of the ballpark, the South Fayette baseball team is also having their spring training down here. They're going to kick off their season against Hopewell on April 3rd. They're holding spring training in St. Petersburg, just about 30, 45 minutes north of here. So pretty cool to have a lot of local baseball teams down here. Both teams, Greg and Bob, visited with manager Clint Hurdle, also took in Pirates batting practice. Pretty cool to keep that connection down here south in Florida.
Absolutely. Right down on the field during BP. Both teams are down there. Players are coming over and talking to them. Good stuff. Here's Curtis Granderson, who doubled to right to start this ball game. Cool starts him off with a breaking ball. Granderson, now 36 years old, a 16-year veteran, signed a one-year deal with the Jays. Went back to that pitch, but stayed up. Movement there, 1-2.
Is that a changeup?
I don't know. It had almost looked like a fork ball the way it dipped.
Well, I was looking at this the swing. This is kind of the swing you would have at a changeup. Yeah, that's either a changeup or splitter, fork ball, which are changeups.
Yeah.
In reality, it's got to be a dozen different changeup grips you could use to take speed off the ball. And some of them will also add that movement that some guys are looking for, especially if you've got to where you got decent command of your changeup, then you want to add maybe a little extra movement to it.
Sean Rodriguez in center.
I guess the real masters of that are the guys that eventually become guys with a screwball. That's the doctorate of changeups, the screwball. Does that take 8 years to?
Is that what it is?
Get a PhD.
There's the South Fayette baseball team Robbie was talking about.
I had a junior college changeup.
You did?
Yeah, my changeup was an associate's degree.
You did not complete the schooling necessary?
Never got beyond that
See
with
the
the changeup. No. Curveball didn't go to school very much either, but it eventually got street smarts.
That's all part of it, the experience.
You got to get educated one way or another.
Yeah.
Wow.
Broken a bat there, and Pilar feels it.
That was a well-located fastball. Well, we've seen that a few times here from Cole, where he's really gone inside nicely with that heater.
That's a beautiful pitch there.
Oh, that just... The only thing that would add to that is if you can hear the hitter mumbling to himself as he's running down the baseline. Knows that he just had the bat sawed off in his hand.
That's what Cole should have done. He should have, as soon as the ball hit on the ground, he should have like run alongside him on the way to first.
Yeah, that wouldn't have caused him problems. Hitters don't mind that.
No. Jordy Mercer over on that right side.
Let's go hit.
But first, we will go back to our North Shore studios. WB Mason Spring Break with Rob and Michael.
Back here at PNC Park with Michael McHenry. And Michael, you've gotten dressed in the clubhouse, right? This is kind of taking you through what Michael might be doing over the course of a day. And now you're here in the kitchen. This is your next stop.
Yeah, this is my next stop. I come in, I grab my cup of coffee, put my scouting report right here, and then I usually would come in, grab a juice. They'd always have juices for recovery, you know, smoothie, and then I'd usually get either a salad or a burger, my famous Mac burger. Hopefully they're still making it with a fried egg on top. And then I'd sit right here, I'd eat, you know, get ready, fuel the body. We've heard a lot of guys talk about over time through spring. I'd go over the scouting report, and then I'd go about my day.
Right, and then maybe the next step would be some video. So let's say Michael's looked at the video, and then we're going to take you to the next step prior to the ball game. All right, so he's dressed, he's eaten, he's got his scouting report, looked at video. Michael, what's the next step for you?
Next step is come in here and get ready for the day. Usually jump in the hot tub. Every now and then I do the swim X for recovery, get the blood flowing, and then I do a little contrast. I always dip my head completely in the cold tub before I start my day. Just wakes me up and heightens everything, and then I go straight to the weight room.
So the next step before you head out onto the field is here in the weight room, 10 minutes on the bike.
Yeah, so I come in from the training room. I'm hot. I keep my sweatshirt on. 10 minutes on the bike. Use that foam roller, which vibrates, plus some myofascial stuff. And then I do an activation for my hips, my shoulders and stuff, usually 5 exercises, 8 to 10 reps. And then some days I work out, some days I just go straight to the cage or straight to the bullpen and start my day. And
again, that's before we get to see him on the field. So a little behind the scenes look here with Michael McHenry on a game day.
Well, thank you guys. That tells you about the game prep for guys these days. As Adam Frazier will step in, fly to left in the first. Pirates scored twice. 2-run single from Francisco Cervelli. Pirates were 33-30 when Adam Frazier led off last year. He was the most used leadoff hitter. And it will be interesting to see what Clint Hurdle does next Thursday when the Pirates play once again as they did last year, opening up the season in an American League city, so they'll use the DH. Corey Dickerson led off last night. Starling Marte hit second, Gregory Polanco third, and then Josh Bell. So, possibility that you could see Frazier DHing and leading off next Thursday with Jay Hay hitting second. A matter of how you fill out the rest of the batting order. Where do you put then Corey Dickerson and Marte, Polanco? Justin Smoke unassisted. One away. Questions abound for all teams at the outset of a season, and the Bucks are no different. Where will home runs come from in the lineup, and which players could be on the verge of a breakout season? We'll look to answer those questions and more on Inside Pirates Baseball. 6 questions debuting tonight after Pirates postgame. Six questions and 5 Bucco fans. And number 5 at the plate, and Josh Harrison. If it gets down, it'll be at least a couple, you would think, and misplayed by Gritchick, so Jay Hay's going to wind up at third. Nope, he's going to be out of play. He's going to stay at second.
Is there one of those little, is there a double white line down there?
I don't know. Apparently so.
Apparently so. Oh yeah, there's the two white line. If it goes over that other white line, ground rule double. It's out of play.
I think that's a good thing to do if a guy can fly.
Kick it over that line.
Heck yeah. I mean, you should have seen. I know you weren't down in Fort Myers last night.
I was there the night before, so don't act like I never go anywhere.
I didn't suggest that.
Okay, the day before I was there.
But it was.
You said I know you weren't.
Well, I know you weren't because I was there with John, so you weren't there. It was Byron Buxton, the fastest guy in baseball.
Hit a triple?
Oh, with ease. So a guy like Buxton, he hits the ball down there.
Kick it out of bounds.
Kick it out of bounds. They're out of play. Colin Moran singled and scored in the first. Moran again hoping to provide some thump from that left side, that short porch and right. See how that plays.
A good time for one right now with that wind helping him. Nope, he laid off the change. Did not swing.
Morana, Pacific Coast League All-Star last year, began the season at Fresno. Called up in July, and that accident occurred July 22nd where he found that ball off his face. Underwent surgery. Suffered facial fractures. And through the right side of the infield, Cora going to wave home Josh Harrison. And Jay Hay will score. On the hit by Moran, it's 3-0.
Park's been very aggressive on the bases. I don't think I've seen anybody held up yet. They have been pushing the envelope on these plays. Well, now, if you're being a little conservative, because there is one out, you might put up the stop sign. But with Jay Hay, go ahead, see what you can do. Throws just a little offline, and Jay Hay's in there in plenty of time.
Joey Cora there, third base coach.
Jay Hay helping out the umpire there with the save. Save call himself.
Well, a strike on Freeze. He walked and scored in the first. He's ready to get it started. A couple of swings and misses from Freeze.
Yeah, a couple of fastballs that no contact on.
Freeze now 34 years old. That is the first strikeout for Joe Biagini. Second out in the third inning. Francisco Cervelli The 2-run single in the first inning brought in Colin Moran and David Freese. Cervelli now 7 spring training RBIs. Jose Osuna is the team leader in the RBI department this spring with 13. Speculation as to what that roster will look like when the team breaks camp, and they'll play the Phillies in Clearwater this Tuesday and fly out right after the game. 25-man roster will have to be set, of course, by next Thursday. Neil Huntington has talked about perhaps early on going with an extra pitcher.
4-man bench.
Makes some sense with the DH.
Yeah, you don't use a bench. So you don't need one when you get that DH. So got the luxury of going with an extra pitcher. Make a move for opening day in Pittsburgh.
As the Twins will come to Pittsburgh for the opener on Monday, April the 2nd, and play under National League rules.
Baseball rules.
Here's Neil Huntington. Well, same thing, National League Baseball.
Right.
Kevin Graves, assistant GM, next to Neil Huntington.
Be a while until our next night game, right?
Yeah, it won't be till second game against the Twins. April 4th. The opener at 1:05 on Monday the 2nd. Moran going to take off. Going to get there.
Really late with that break. A little concerned. But very poor throw down the second base allowed him to get in there. Watch the break when he decides to go. He was going back to first and then changed his mind.
Well, Cervelli took advantage of a wild pitch in the first inning.
When you have speed, you can just outrun the baseball like that, though.
Oh, is that what that was?
Don't tell him I said that.
Won't say a word.
It's pretty big. But he didn't look real fast right there in that.
He's not blessed with great speed. That's a given. But
hey, well, hopefully he'll just have to
hit some home runs. He can trot around the bases.
A lot of jogging around the bases this year. I'll take that. I knew there was no way Cervelli wasn't going to call time now. They're making him wait.
Cervelli reaches. Is second walk allowed by Biagini.
See, they don't know Cervelli very well. They keep trying to get him to chase balls out of the strike zone. He might be our best hitter at making the other guy throw strikes.
Talking to Kamara Barti, Pirates first base coach. And now here's Sean Rodriguez, flied out in the first. He's bounced around everywhere this spring. Sean Rodriguez.
Well, the last couple times I've seen him, he's been in center field.
Line drive to left. Hit it on the button, but Curtis Granderson is there. Pirates get one. And we're going to head back to our North Shore studios for another WB Mason spring break with Rob King and Michael McHenry.
Greg and Bob, thanks very much. We're going to be spending some time during these spring breaks talking about the different positions on the players, the position groupings on the Pirates, I should say. Last year, this Pirates starting pitcher ranked 7th in the National League in team ERA. They lost Garrett Cole, of course, trading him to Houston in the offseason. So the question for Jamison Tyone, how can this group improve upon what they did a year ago?
I think we need to process what we did last year. I think we're all good at identifying and evaluating our performance and what we could get better at. So be honest self-evaluators and attack whatever we need to work on.
So this is the group that figures to be the Pirates starting rotation, certainly at the beginning of the season. They were a run more than the ERA, a run higher than the 3 elite teams, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Nationals. About a half a run or so, Michael, for joining the next group, the Cubs, the Brewers, the Cardinals, to be, a top 4, top 5 type of rotation. How can they make that jump, carving off 3-4 tenths a run per game with a group? And we saw some good signs from them last year. How do they take that next step forward, this largely young rotation?
I think it's just growth. These guys are coming in their second year, in Williams and in Cool. And Cool right now looks outstanding. His stuff plays. So those two guys I expect to be very, very consistent throughout the year, be very good, hopefully piggyback what they did really, really well last year, and also adding that curveball with Cool. And obviously Williams, he's kind of like a professor out there, just like Crick is. He's a guy that can go out and just do his thing. And you think about Taillon and Nova, who are very consistent. We're not talking about a Taillon that is going to have a plague this year. He has a full season, a healthy season. He's an ace. He's going to walk like an ace, act like an ace. I think it's going to be very good.
Yeah, Greg and Bob, I mean, one of the things, you want to be encouraged, you want to be optimistic about this team is that we saw all these young pitchers. Obviously, Musgrove was with the Astros, but all of them have, at times last year, dominating stretches, months, 2 months, 3 months, 10, 12, 14 starts. Let's see if they can put it together over the course of a full season.
Yeah, you have all that youth, and you guys were touching on this, that, there's room to improve on everybody. You expect guys to kind of get better as they go along. Now, if you've got 5 guys out there, they're all in their 30s, well, they probably are who they are. They're not going to move around much. They got a track record. You know what you're going to get. But when you have guys that are first, second, third year in the big leagues, you're not sure right yet. There's always that room, like, where are they going to end up on that scale? And stuff-wise, we see guys like Taillon and Cole with the great arms, and and even Trevor, he's changing a little bit. A lot of strikeouts in yesterday's ball game. So we don't know yet what kind of pitchers are going to be and where that ERA is going to settle in. It's hard to predict. It's impossible really to predict, because you can look through history at all sorts of different results from young pitchers, and you just don't know which way your guys are going to go. But you keep your fingers crossed that they stay healthy, because that's the main thing. If they have their health, then you always have that shot, always that chance.
And Grichuk leads off with the base hit. Brings up Kendrys Morales.
I wasn't watching. I don't know if you were either. Was that a breaking ball he hit?
See.
He just blew the fastball by Grichuk earlier. I've been told that was a line drive off a fastball. So Grichuk made the adjustment. And that's what it is. Everybody is constantly trying to make little changes in that battle between the pitcher and the hitter. You're trying to read the hitter's trying to guess with you. Thinking about what you've done against him in the past, what you did against him just 2 innings ago.
And despite the shift, Kendrys Morales hits it between Harrison and Mercer for the single to right. Garvey Solarte. PNC Park will host college baseball on April the 10th. West Virginia Mountaineers will take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. General admission only $10 with discounts for students and Pirate season ticket holders. First pitch is 6:30. Gates open an hour beforehand, so go to pirates.com/college baseball. A lot of baseball coming your way in the Berg. Very soon, starting April 2nd. Pirates and Twins at 1:05. Off day on the 3rd. And then the night game on the 4th against the Twins, and a 4-game series against the Reds. Moran out. And that drops just foul. A long way to go for Frazier and Moran.
And that wind again, pushing that ball back fair. And off the bat, you know, that might be in the seats, but the wind's pushing it the other direction, and it comes awfully close to hitting in fair territory. Going pretty stiff from left to right.
Solarte, the switch hitter. Hit 18 home runs last year, and a pickoff try and off the glove of Mercer. Will advance 2 runners.
Cole will not be happy with himself. They have been working and working and working on all kinds of pitcher's fielding practice, which also includes a ton of pickoff throws to second. So we have our first visit of the night.
Jeremy Rehack will.
Had the first 6-visit game.
Really?
For us, yeah, down in Fort Myers against Boston.
How about that?
I know you weren't there that day.
No, I was not there.
Down
You're
in
right.
Fort Myers.
I know. Thanks to Jason Steele for that line.
Thank you, Jason. But yeah, it was a double visit 8th inning that brought it up to 6.
Wow. Steve and Joe doing the game on the radio side.
Steve looks
nice and warm, doesn't he? Cozy.
Yeah, he's got the little. You can pull the hood on later on.
Just like Ray, his buddy Ray.
See now, Steve's not saying anything. You notice that? He's just sitting there. See now, when you and I over on radio and they show one of us, even if we're not talking,
right,
we fake like we are.
Both of us.
Just.
Yep.
Do that. People on TV think, wow, he's
really messed them up.
He's just analyzing his
rear
rear end off.
How come Brown's talking too, though?
Talking over each other, apparently.
Comes back.
There's that hook.
That's Solarte with the infield back.
If you got a good curveball like that, even the lefties, it'll work against them. You know, and that's what we're talking about as far as location there. You know, that you see the 2-strike curveball that bounces 3 feet out in front of home plate. Well, that's going to be a wild pitch half the time anyway, but nobody's chasing it. But you get it back there where it's, if it does bounce, it's in between the catcher and the plate. You're going to get a chase of that every now and then. Ideally, it doesn't even bounce at all. It just isn't maybe an inch or so off the ground when catcher makes the play on it. But that's the command of the hook right there.
Cool against Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who doubled a line drive off the wall in center his first time. Discussions abound throughout baseball circles regarding the top prospect in all of baseball going into the season, and I would guess that most pundits suggested is Ronald Acuna of the Braves, who was just optioned down the other day. But then there are those who argue it's this man here, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 19-year-old native of Montreal. His dad just voted into the Hall of Fame in January after 16 great years with the Expos, Angels, and Orioles. Jay Hay playing essentially a deep short and makes a fine play. Second baseman over on the second left side of the infield and retires Guerrero a run in. And it is now a 3-1 ball game, and the inductees coming in 2018 this summer will be Vlad the Great, Trevor Hoffman, Chipper Jones, and Jim Thome. Pretty strong.
Very strong
quartet.
class right there. Hoffman, just unbelievable closer over the years. What did Thome end up? 600 and what's 60 some home runs?
Plus, yep.
It'd be like Willie Mays territory. Yeah, that's a strong class there.
Do you remember facing his dad at all? Vlad Guerrero? When he was with the Expos?
Not really, no. I don't really recall.
Vladimir Guerrero Sr. finished his career with 449 home runs.
I know watching him play an awfully lot. He's pretty amazing talent.
Good work there from Cools. Gives up the run, but a strikeout, a ground out, and a strikeout. So they had runners at second and third and no one out.
It's time for the Toyota all-wheel drive RAV 4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
Welcome back to the friendly city, Bradenton, Florida. Our UPMC scoreboard, a 3-1 ball game.
Our coffee's not hot, right? You know why? Whoever bought that coffee machine bought the one with the automatic timer that shuts off instead of just the old-fashioned manual. So it turned itself off, and now we're having cold coffee.
I don't know what I bought. Bought the best thing I could find.
You tried to buy an uppity coffee machine instead of just
not
getting
true.
a $12.95 Mr. Coffee.
No.
That's all right, though. It doesn't matter to me. I applaud you for the effort.
Thank you. Jordan Luplow leads things off.
Need to get that run back. Keep this victory locked down. Luplow's been hitting a few long balls.
4 home runs this spring. Play made it third by Guerrero, and Luplow hustling down that line. Made that close.
By the way, his dad came up in '96, so that's why I had to play against him.
Not Luplo's, Guerrero's.
Guerrero's
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah, Vladimir Guerrero,
Vladimir
96.
Guerrero, right.
So you were done by 90.
93 was the last year, so I was out of there by the time he got up. But he was a unbelievable player to watch. All the tools that he had. Speed, arm, of course a great hitter. So,
And dangerous.
his son has some big shoes to fill. Yes, he was a dangerous hitter. Greg and I kid about that over the years.
We once had a discussion with
Somebody
in baseball, in management, asked about.
disagreed with
he
our
was a scout.
assessment.
Well, isn't he a great hitter? No, not great. Dangerous, not
Dangerous
great.
hitter. No, I don't think we said great. I think we said good.
Oh, maybe.
So, no, he's a dangerous hitter, not a good hitter. Well, okay.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Mercer fouled out to right his first time up. And a pop up toward right. It's a foul ball. Solarte whiffed on it.
That's just incredible. This ballpark and fly balls and pop flies. Just missed it. Not an error, no play. Just a foul ball.
Nice shot there. The boardwalk.
Sun setting over the Gulf.
Winding down another spring training. The home schedule includes 3 more games before the Pirates break camp. Tomorrow afternoon, hosting the Phillies right here on AT&T Sportsnet. Saturday afternoon, hosting the Rays. Once again, we'll have that for you right here. Sunday, the Pirates travel north to Dunedin. Radio only game, and then back on this TV side on Monday for the final spring home game against the Phillies. And then Clint Hurdle and company will be taking on the Phillies in Clearwater next Tuesday, the final game of the spring. Out number 2, and it'll be Chad Kuhl coming to the plate. And again, tomorrow another Bucks and Pucks day here on AT&T Sportsnet, getting it started with the Pirates and Phillies right here at Lecom. And then don't forget to stick around for the Pens and Devils in the nightcap. That's all tomorrow. Steven Brault is expected to start for the Pirates tomorrow afternoon.
It's amazing how many starts Glasnow and Brault has gotten this year for not being in the starting rotation. I've probably seen more guys that aren't going to be in the starting rotation start games than are.
Pirates, I think, have this idea that they'll have Brault and Glasnow stretched out, and
I've seen Glasnow pitch I think at least 3 starts.
I think the same thing with Brault.
I've personally, just the games I've been at. I've seen Brault pitch once or twice out of the multiple innings.
And that will give Clint Hurdle the, I guess you'd call it a luxury of going to the quick hook. If a guy is struggling, you could see him pulling these starters at least early this season, earlier than ever, since Brault and Glasnow will be coming out of the bullpen as long relievers. Well, it could be interesting. Chad Kuhl.
But if the guys pitch like we were saying they're going to, then that's not going to happen.
Yeah, you actually hope it doesn't happen.
They're going to get their 6 innings in, and
you root for those guys not being used in those situations. Felipe Rivero
there might not be any work for those guys at all. Let's hope. I mean, that's the scenario that we're promoting.
And a called third strike. Pirates go down in order, and we'll head back to the North Shore studios for WB Mason Spring Break with Rob King and Michael McKenzie.
And Greg, continuing to look at the positions of the Pirates. We talked about the starting pitching a couple of innings ago. Now we're going to take a look at the Pirates lineup. 13th in the National League in runs scored. Andrew McCutchen traded to San Francisco. The question put to Josh Harrison, how does his team score more runs this year?
Well, for one, get on base. We got guys that can drive us in. That's the name of the game. It's not a matter of how the lineup or whatever, folks. Whatever the lineup is, we got to go with it. But at the end of the day, get on base is how we can make things happen.
So you lose Andrew McCutchen. You do bring in Dickerson, so that may be a wash power-wise. Obviously, Andrew McCutchen, the great batting average and the superstar for the Pirates. And then I think, are you looking more of a collective effort, hoping that you're maybe stronger 1 through 8 in the lineup as opposed to having somebody that's the focal point in the middle of that lineup?
Absolutely. I think you take this collaborative group, you take a Josh Bell repeating what he did last year, hopefully get a little bit better. That's 20-plus homers. You have Jordy Mercer, who I think could jump out and hit a bunch of homers, produce some more. I think he'll also be a guy, continue to learn from Cervelli to get on base. You know, Jay Hay coming out and doing the exact same thing he did last year, maybe not get hurt. That'd be huge for us. And then you go down that line, Dickerson, Brent's on the bench, Adam Frazier jumping off the bench, Sean Rodriguez being healthy. All these guys being healthy, and Marte is a huge key factor for this team. He's a star power type guy. He's not going to get suspended this year. He's going to be there for 162, and that's going to be huge for this team. Then you go to Polanco, another guy. He stays healthy. I like the lineup. I like the way it's set up. The bench is good. The lineup is good. We'll see what happens.
And we'll talk more about that bench coming up, but the hope maybe, again, as Michael said, that the lineup will be able to produce more runs. Just 13th guys in the league in runs scored a year ago.
All right, Rob and Michael, thanks very much. Looking to have a maybe more consistent offense this year. It looks like that lineup, as you heard Michael talking about the individuals, but if Moran and Dickerson perform like, well, first of all, Dickerson was an all-star last year for the Tampa Bay Rays with 26 home runs, so it's proven. Moran's unproven.
Well, here's another thing, Greg, too. Is it you look at the numbers, you know, last couple of years, especially look at last year. I mean, compare it to the rest of the league. You know, home runs or just runs, period. We weren't scoring.
It's not like the Pirates are scoring a ton of runs.
So the bar
anyway.
is kind of low. So I mean, it's almost like there's no place to go but up. So if you have healthy guys that are playing up to their capabilities, then the offense should be. I mean, it might not be one of those murderer's row or anything, but it'll be fine if you mix in the good starting pitching that we were just talking about. Then there's your recipe for a winning season. A lot of ifs right there, but I mean, it's simple. If you're going to have wins, you're going to have players that play good.
There are a lot of ifs, but it's not inconceivable. It's not a huge stretch.
No, not at all. Like I said, the bar for the offense is pretty low right now. I mean, I really think that they can score considerably more runs than they did last year. And will the young starters take the next step now? And will they stay healthy like they were last year for the most part? More ifs, but
the talent is there.
It is there.
That's a pretty dominant performance there by Kuhl against Danny Jansen.
That is a late swing. Almost kind of an emergency, like, uh-oh, that's a strike.
Yeah.
Can I foul it and maybe get another one? That's about all he was trying to do with that swing. Just foul the ball off.
See how he fares against the veteran now after striking out the 22-year-old, staying warm.
Blankets in Florida. What's going on? Looks like they're getting ready for Detroit.
Oh,
I looked at our weather
50
report.
degrees.
Yeah, the weather report for Detroit with the day games is going to be nice.
Same thing with the home opener in Pittsburgh. The extended forecast looks pretty nice, so get your tickets, Pirates.com. Home opener on April the 2nd. Off day on the 3rd, first night game on the 4th, and then 4 games against the National League club, the Reds. Free shirt Friday, first fireworks night, and then Saturday a Kids Sunday giveaway of Raise the Jolly Roger towels. 1-2 the count on Granderson. For the first time ever, all 30 teams will begin a Major League season on the same day, next Thursday. Pirates in Detroit. Other National League Central Division clubs, the Cubs will be in Miami. Cardinals in New York against the Mets. The Brewers in San Diego, and the Reds will host the Nationals. Curtis Granderson, the former Tiger. At 26 homers, drove in 70 last year for the Mets and Dodgers.
One of the gentlemen of the game.
And you see just that routine ground ball. With a 16-year career, 36 years of age, and hustling down that line. A pro's pro. Free Shirt Fridays are back for the 2018 season with great designs featuring Jameson Tyone, Roberto Clemente, the Pittsburgh Crawfords, and many more. Plus, every Free Shirt Friday this year is a $1 dog night. Check out pirates.com/Free Shirt Friday. See all the designs and get your tickets. Pirates.com/Free Shirt Friday.
And when guys like Granderson, when they finally retire, baseball loses a little something there. That you hope that there's some rookie that year that comes up and is going to be that same type player for the next 15 years.
Kevin Pillar, count of 2-1 with 1 out, 2 outs rather. Pillar has bounced out twice to short. Chad Kuhl.
Now one of them was a real bad jam shot. Little slider there. That slider a little slower and a little bigger than one we saw a few innings back.
Two and two. 2 outs. And a little tapper. Oh, and a stumble by Pillar. That's all that Blue Jays need. They've had plenty of injuries over the last year, but Pillar is okay. Maybe a little embarrassed, and we're going to head back to our North Shore studios for this WB Mason spring break with Rob King and Michael McHenry.
We're going to move now from the starting lineup to the bench, and we don't know whether it's going to be 4 guys or 5 guys to begin the season, as you heard Greg and Bob talking about. We do know that, barring injuries, it should be much more of a veteran bench than it was a year ago. Here is Rodriguez talking about he and Freese and Frazier coming off the bench for the Pirates.
That's going to be strong. I mean, you take a World Series MVP and a guy who's been coming up and getting his first couple of hits off of guys like Kershaw and stuff like that. I mean, it shows you that that we got some depth, not only in versatility, but I mean in experience and just everything you need, from speed to some being able to handle the bat when it comes to bunting and or driving the ball. I mean, you got everything you need basically, and definitely every position covered.
We're not sure everyone who's going to be on the bench. The guys on the left look like they're completely locked in, and maybe it's Brent, maybe it's Osuna, maybe it's Luplo. We saw Max Moroff get sent down. And last year, because of the suspension of Marte, Gong, obviously never making it over, some of those bench guys had to become starters, and so you called on so many young guys. Jordan Luplo, Jose Osuna, Gifton Gope, who's no longer with the team. But really hard roles for those guys. Hopefully this bench will not only provide guys days off, but also be able to pinch hit and double switch and do some of the things that make you a stronger ball club.
Yeah, this isn't a typical bench. I mean, you look down the line, a lot of these guys can play for most of the teams in the National League, if not within their division. So it's a great bench. You got Sean Rod, who's healthy. He had a very tragic accident last year, and he was coming off an injury. So obviously, being him, he had that confidence to come back really early. Wasn't the guy he wanted to be. He's having a huge spring. You talk about Freeze. You talk about all these guys. They're going to be very good. They have two leaders at the top in Freeze and Rodriguez. And Frazier obviously is a great player, and they're going to be very good off the bench.
All right, let's head back to LeCom now, and Greg and Bob. Guys?
And thanks, guys. And speaking of Frazier, here he is. Adam Frazier leads off for the Pirates in the home half of the fifth. He's flied out and bounced out. It's Frazier, Harrison, and Moran, 1, 2, 3 for Clint Hurdle tonight. Last night it was Dickerson, a lefty hitter, Marte, a right-handed hitter, and Polanco, a left-handed hitter. And you can see Frazier, Jay Hay next week, 1, 2, and then might you have Corey Dickerson hit third? We talked about this on the radio side last night, John Wayner and I. And Josh Bell, of course, will be the cleanup man. Do you have Polanco as high as fifth, or do you anticipate Moran being more of an RBI guy? Moran maybe hits fifth. And would you drop Marte to the 6 hole? It's fun to play along with what that lineup might look like. Hurdle, like so many managers, likes to spread out
you can have
the lefty hitters.
You can have 10 different lineups in the first 10 games.
Yeah, now we've seen that before too.
So.
I mean, all year long, you see managers play with lineups.
And, and that's another thing too about our bench. The guys were just talking about the bench. I wouldn't be surprised that there's almost one of those 3 veteran guys that are going to, or one of the big 3 guys that are going to be on the bench. They'll find a way to get them a start. Somebody will be out there almost every day, I would think. Because when they're in the game, you're not losing a whole lot. And if you're rotating them in on a regular basis, you're keeping those bats fresh.
Talking with Jeff Branson there, David Freeze, about the breaking ball that he saw from Biagini. Harrison doubled to right his last time up and scored. It is certainly a different looking lineup this year. And it could be, if everybody plays to their potential, one that does score a lot of runs, hits more home runs, maybe using that short porch in right field, left-handed batters in particular. Mercer there and Jordan Luplo. Corey Dickerson, if someone were to ask, I won't speak for you, Bob, but
what's changed?
One of the real positive surprises this year for me this spring, it's Corey Dickerson. He's been really, really impressive. Just watching him play, watching him go about his business in the professional manner that he does. But especially defensively, how much better he's been than the reputation. And we spoke with last week when we were in Dunedin with Buck Martinez and Dan Schulman doing the TV games for the Toronto Blue Jays, and they just couldn't speak highly enough of Dickerson, and Buck Martinez says, you're going to love this guy.
Well, I know that, I mean, you pointed out how we've seen him play out in this outfield. It's a very difficult outfield to play, and he's looked above average out there. So, yeah, definitely not the same as I thought, because we heard the scouting reports about, oh, can he play left field in PNC Park? And I'm thinking, oh, what's going to happen here? But he looks fine out there.
3-1 Pirates will be back. Pitching change here at Lecom.
Who would
Pirates lead. Going to the new pitcher, Deck McGuire, facing Colin Moran. And there goes Jay Hay right away. And he's out. Looked like he was going to beat that throw from Danny Jansen.
Yeah, I was about to say as it was happening that nice jump. I mean, there you saw it. But that was a very quick tag by Bichette. I mean, that was a head-high throw.
Yeah.
Jay's running into the wind. I think that's right. We saw how that affected Moran earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
Wind's tough to run into.
So Deck McGuire signed as a minor league free agent over the winter. Last year in the minor leagues, you see 2.79 ERA.
Hopefully we can hit Deck.
Hopefully we can clear it.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah. I don't know what made me think of this, but I stopped over at Pirate City today. I think it was because Deck McGuire, at first glance, made me think of this guy. Joel Hanrahan was there. Said to say
really?
hello. Yep. He's a pitching coach down in the Pirates minor league system now. And down on strikes goes Colin Moran. We have played 5. First and only home night game of the spring. The Pirates up by a couple.
Sportsnet is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates and fans like you. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Saw that last shot there of Jamison Tyone, who pitched at Pirate City, the minor league complex just a few miles away. He pitched there today, and he will start the home opener on Monday, April 2nd. Meantime, Chad Kuhl looking strong here. Much like last night, Trevor Williams striking out 8 and 5 1/3 as he approached 100 pitches. Pitch number 80 coming from Kuhl. And a drive deep by Justin Smoke. Crushes that for the tiki bar. Smoke, who hit 38 home runs last year, makes it a 3-2 ball game. Justin Smoke, his second home run of the spring.
Yeah, he's been going after the strike zone, doing a good job of it. That one right down the pipe. Got smoked.
Kuhl only gave up 17 home runs last year.
That was a beautiful curveball.
Randall Grichuk singled his last time up, struck out his first time versus Kuhl.
Wow, that was nice there. The location. Cervelli, gave him a very high target. Wanted to throw the ball by him upstairs. But Cervelli's target, that glove was up to where he was just kind of looking over the top of it. Kuhl put it right there.
Toward right. Loop low.
A lot of guys are throwing the ball upstairs on purpose nowadays, trying to.
What do you think of all that, by the way,
well,
Bob?
that's if guys are truly trying to uppercut the ball, then yeah, that opens up a hole for, upstairs. So if they're gonna be consistent with that, and they're trying to, lift the ball into the air, then especially if you got a good fastball,
I mean,
throw a bomb up there.
Do you have to know which guys are doing that, or you're assuming?
Yeah, you got to read the bat. You got to know. Who tries to do that against you, and results will tell you. If you go upstairs, you have success. You're going to remember that against certain hitters.
Chad Kuhl done for the night. Good start for him. Dovydas Neverauskas coming on.
held by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Here is Davidas Neverauskas. Spent some time with the Pirates last year. And hoping that he could still be part of the bullpen at the beginning of this season. Chad Kuhl done for the night. 5 1/3. Kendrys Morales fooled.
Last season when he was able to do pretty good numbers for the first year. He'll be up there helping us out at some point this year. Maybe someday with his stuff and his arm, ability to get strikeouts, he'll be a
closer, maybe
back into the bullpen, or at least a setup guy. I mean, got that kind of arm.
He takes care of the veteran Morales. Speaking of Indianapolis, getting ready for what, year number 43, I believe, for Howard Kelman in Indianapolis, the voice of the Indianapolis Indians. He's there with Joe Block.
You know, I looked at my schedule today, and I thought Steve was doing radio. I don't see him there, though.
His schedule must say 5 innings and then 5 and dive.
We're allowed just to get up and leave.
Apparently.
We want.
I mean, hey, you gonna argue with Blass?
No,
Guess
I
he
don't.
can do what he
don't,
wants.
I don't. Yeah, he's a veteran. He's
yeah. But
been
he used to
time.
pride himself on going 9 innings.
Yeah, but his chair is empty
Yeah.
over there. We can see that. He's decided to call it a night.
Howard going to call a couple of innings there with Joe. There he is. Mel Check, the longtime engineer. But you were talking about Vladimir Guerrero Sr. I mean, Howard has seen some of the great players, and that's when they were the Expos affiliate, the Indianapolis club, and he saw Vladimir Guerrero come through. Randy Johnson came through Indy.
Larry Walker.
He was there when the Reds were a longtime parent club of the Indianapolis team, the Brewers, and now many years the Pirates AAA affiliate. So he can speak, and I'm sure he is about Davidas Neverauskas.
Steve is back eating potato chips.
What's he doing?
Eating potato chips.
Why is he hiding?
He looked like Alfred Hitchcock back there in the background.
Should have that music.
I saw him bring in a bag of Doritos today. I think he was planning on this break.
You can't get anything past that guy. No. If you care, prepare.
Yeah, he's got the bag of Doritos back there in the back.
Deep drive, but foul.
Foul potato. Nothing but a loud strike.
So yeah, Howard Kelman saw Neverauskas come through the Pirate system, and then we got a chance to see him last year. The Lithuanian born and raised Davidas Neverauskas had a .286 ERA in 40 games with Indy last season and appeared in 24 games with the Pirates. Finished with a .391 ERA with the Bucks. Solarte has grounded out and struck out. '18 home runs last year at San Diego. Big cut and a miss. Nice work. Neverauskas. Through 5 innings, Bucks up by 1.
baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. Check out the Barrel Hot List at barrel.com. Now the only way to buy a car. And by W.B. Mason, the official office supply and office furniture company of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's go Bucks!
First pitch strike to David Freese, starting the 6th inning. On a cool night. Freese has walked and struck out. Joe Biagini started for the Toronto Blue Jays. Pirates scoring 2 first-inning runs. Colin Moran had a 2-out single. David Freese walked after a wild pitch. Moving the runners up, Francisco Cervelli singled home a pair. And Moran then singled home Josh Harrison for the 3rd run in the 3rd inning, and Freese is retired. Bo Bichette, Dante's son.
Look at that.
Quite a scene behind the stands there, right? Behind the bleachers at Sky.
Beautiful purple pink.
Yeah.
Reddish hues. What's that old saying? Red sky in the morning, sailor take warning. Red sky at night, sailor delight. Maybe
That's it.
Something like that.
I was thinking of Jared Hughes when you said that.
You were.
Going to be with the Reds this year.
Yeah.
Jared. And we'll see
He
him
just doesn't seem
first
right
homestand.
to see him in the red.
Oh, I know.
Red
He battled that team.
Yeah.
There's some tense moments at times. Well, those Reds will be coming to Pittsburgh during that opening homestand. Francisco Cervelli, what kind of a year will this veteran backstop have?
It's all about his health. He stays healthy, he'll put up some decent offensive numbers for you. Stay away from injury.
Cervelli's never been a big RBI guy, but if healthy, it's a lot of at-bats. See him drive the ball a little bit. He said he's feeling stronger,
Kind of
better than ever.
Get on base type guy, really. You know,
Yeah.
the way that good eye of his.
The Ferrari. That's
Yeah,
what he is.
he's a Ferrari.
He paid attention to his diet over the winter. Different workout regimen.
You don't put bad gas in a Ferrari.
Speaking of driving, the ball is a line drive. The wind will knock it down, and the play made by Kevin Pillar. 2 outs. We're talking about health, and we get to our Allegheny Health Network injury update. A.J. Schugel, who was part of the bullpen last year, but will start this season on the disabled list. He's been throwing from 120 feet. Going to work his way back from some shoulder discomfort. Schugel will begin the year on the DL. Sean Rodriguez started last season on the disabled list.
120 feet, that's a long ways to begin your game of catch. I always started out a little shorter, then spread it out as I got loose.
So Felipe Rivero going to come on next inning.
Cervelli being a Ferrari, we're going to have to pick car names for everybody on the team.
Oh, okay. What do you got there? kind of a car?
Oh, well, we're not going to. This will be something we do during the season.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Just add a little bit as we go along.
All right, all right.
And we're not going to do all that tonight.
Oh, all right. Well, we won't do any more tonight then. We'll just stick with the Ferrari.
Cervelli, he picked the Ferrari for himself.
Yes.
So, okay. He likes that. Okay, he's the Ferrari. Now, we'll add to that as the season goes along.
Two and two on Sean Rodriguez. Jordan Luplow on deck. Rodriguez has struck out a bunch this spring. 1, 2, 3. And we will head back to our North Shore studios. This WP Mason Spring Break with Rob King and Michael McHenry.
Continuing our look at positional units for the Pirates, we look at the bullpen, which was 6 in the National League last year. Look, 2 through 6, all very tightly bunched. I mean, any of those teams could have been 2nd or 6th. So the Pirates had a very, very good bullpen last year. George Contos is going to be with the team the entire year, and he talked about really kind of knowing his role for the first time in his career.
I came from a situation where I didn't quite know when I was going to pitch, where we were going to pitch. It was kind of a type of a bullpen by committee, kind of whenever your situation that you were good at came around, that's when you would pitch. But, you know, I think ever since I got here and kind of, you know, pitched in that 7th a little bit and then mostly in the 8th. And when I know when I'm going to pitch, I can mentally get ready. And I think it makes it a lot easier to prepare and to be ready to go into a ball game.
And here's a look at the positional breakdown here in the bullpen. It looks like Rivero, Contos, and Police are going to be setting up. You would think, along with Kevin Seegers, if he makes the team, Jordan Milbrath, a Rule 5 guy. We're seeing Neverauskas, very talented. Santana, Kyle Crick. There's a lot of talent here. That's the good thing. The other thing is, I wanted to ask you about role definition. Is that important for relievers? We're seeing teams kind of get away from that a little bit in some circumstances.
I think it is, especially for these young guys, because when you're coming up through the minor leagues, you kind of have set innings, especially if you're a prospect. They kind of coddle you a little bit. It's the only word I could think of to really explain what they do in the minor leagues. You get a day off here, a day off there. You throw 2 innings, get a day off. These guys need that to be very successful early on. Glasnow and Brault are 2 great examples because they've been a every 5-day type starter. Now they're going to go into a swing role. They got to figure that out. So they're going to lean on Contos, and Herbie and Yuki in the bullpen. They're going to lean on those guys to really understand their roles.
And we're going to see Felipe Rivero right now as we head back to Lecom Park, and Greg Brown and Bob Waugh.
Rob and Michael, thanks much. 3-2 ball game. Into the 7th inning we go. Well, the only home night game of spring training.
Well, we definitely know what Rivero's role is going to be. He's had kind of a even though he wasn't there the whole year in that role, you'd have to say he kind of had a bust-out season as a closer. Moved into it later in the year, but especially when he first got out there, man, he was just wiping people out. He's had kind of an up-and-down spring. Had a game where he had some control problems.
Now this is interesting. He's facing 3 young players. Again, the Jays' top prospect, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And it will be Bo Bichette and Danny Jansen. How does Rivero handle these young players?
I like him to just show good velocity on the fastball and good command of everything else. And then that's, you know, for a premier closer, that's all you're looking for. It's not results, it's how he's throwing the ball that really counts.
Chopper and infield hit.
Does he have his weapons going for him?
Colin Moran charging, not able to get a quick throw, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has an infield hit. Bo Bichette has struck out twice.
Too late.
Toward right, and Bo Bichette. An opposite field home run. And the Jays take the lead. 4-3.
It's like his dad.
The 19-year-old Vladimir Guerrero infield hit, the 20-year-old Bo Bichette homers.
Fastball up. It was on the inside half of the plate. Got it up in that wind. Although, I mean, he hit it well. That ball, it looked like it might have cleared the decking back there. With no wind, it was going to be iffy, going to be close. See the palm trees, the flag, everything hitting out to right field is getting helped.
Moran a bobble, and gets Manny Jansen.
Greg, you want some coffee?
No thanks, that's cold. You just made it? Oh, really?
No, that's not cold, that's hot.
Okay, well.
Just burned me right there.
Nice hot coffee, Bob.
Here, pour this in here, Steve. Yeah, that's right. That's good, Steve. Thank you. Oh, that is nice and warm, hot coffee.
How about this service, huh?
He's bored over there. He's not working.
No, he is working. He's working the press box. Thank you, sir. I was going to say service with a smile, but he's not smiling.
No, all of a sudden he's going to.
What is this?
He's going a little overboard.
What is this? We're going to have an incident again. We're going to be on Deadspin tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to be mad at you.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Why do you hate Blas?
Right. Big argument last spring.
For one day, Steve took over for me on the why do you hate.
Oh, really?
No, it was always why don't you?
Why do you and I dislike each other?
Right. For one day, it was you and Blas. Yeah, that shot right there is nice. You can see how close and how everything. I like that shot right there.
Right
Shows
next door.
how things are set up here in the Lee Comp in spring training.
There you have it. Our next door neighbors.
Nice and cozy.
Yeah. The broadcast booths here, and then on the other side, the
I like
writing
that.
press.
There's a picture next to Mel there. I don't know if we can see it. It's you really can't see it. That's one of my favorites right there. It's a meeting on the mound. You see Sid Bream is there. Draybeck, Leland. Looks like they're taking Doug out of the game.
Right.
Looks like that's Bobby Bowe in the background.
Who would that be on the other side of Draybeck? Is that Bell, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say that's.
And who's the catcher?
I think that's Slot. I think it's looks like Slot there. I'm not sure, but I always love looking at that picture. Reminds me of some of the best couple of years that I had playing baseball.
Those early 90s?
Those teammates right there. That could be an 80-something game.
Yeah.
We still got the elastic band around our waist. Could be an 89 game, 88.
When did Bream get hurt? Early in 89?
No, he was there in 90.
But didn't he get hurt? He missed a lot of...
yeah. You're right. Maybe that is 90 because that is Sluggo there, it looks like. I think if that was LaValliere, we'd see more of him on one side or the other of Leland.
Good chance. Pilar down on strikes. But the young guns, Guerrero, Bichette. And the home run by Bichette gives the Jays the lead. Back to our North Shore studios at WB Mason Spring Break with Rob and Michael.
Greg and Bob back at PNC Park with Michael McHenry. When people think about the weight room, this is what they think about, the old school weights, and those do come into play, but you've got all kinds of stuff here because everyone's talking about flexibility and mobility like Cervelli and Polanco. Tell us what they're going through with their workouts.
Yeah, they're learning self-massage. These are self-massage tools used for myofascial release. This is for your T-spine. So you walk it up your back, and it releases those T-spine muscles that are holding your spine tight so you can rotate a little bit better. This hyper ice actually vibrates, so it activates you with vibration and the ability to roll out and foam roll, which is a personal massage, like you're doing it to yourself. And then with this band, you can use it, tie it to the rack right here, or you can do it yourself, but you can actually have that ability to stretch yourself out a little bit more.
All right, so I think about weightlifting as an off-season proposition for players. How much time are players lifting weights? How much are they spending on this mobility and flexibility?
So in season, mobility and flexibility kind of take priority. You want to make sure that you are doing more of this stuff than you are with the weights, because you want to lengthen back out your muscles. Swinging, throwing, everything's going to make you really tight. So just doing this stuff, lifting heavy weights all the time, it's great, but you got to make sure you have full range of motion and be able to move right.
Yeah, a lot of work and a lot more than meets the eye as ball players keep themselves prepared throughout the course of the season as we head back to Greg and Bob at LeCom. Guys?
And thank you, Rob and Michael, at chilly LeCom Park. Pirates and Toronto here on the Sun Coast as the
Not much left of that sun.
Saying goodbye, good night. Back at it again tomorrow afternoon.
I don't understand why you wouldn't see more steam in that shot right there as the sun goes into the ocean like that. You would think it'd be the big clouds of steam coming up.
You would think so.
I never see it though. I go out there every night. Just slips behind the waves.
So you're out there to check out the sunset every night, huh?
Well, put it this way. Somebody from the house is out there every night.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's not me. But there's somebody out there every night.
That beach can get crowded too, boy.
Because that way I get a report on it. You know, like, hey, how was the sunset?
Yeah. It's a big deal. Jordan Luplow has grounded out twice. He's now facing Deck McGuire.
McGuire getting some multi-inning work.
And Luplow jumps on that pitch.
They were trying to keep the ball down there. You saw a very low target down around the knees. Ball up around belt high. So Luplow trying to get the lead back for us. It's no longer locked in.
Mercer has twice hit the ball in the air to right. Joe Biagini went 4 1/3 for the Jays. And now Deck McGuire, who pitched for the Reds briefly last year. There goes Luplow, and you see Mercer, that inside out swing.
That's a hit and run. Mercer does not have the option of taking that ball. He has to swing at it, so you see the result.
How about that? That's a Josh Bell-like.
Hey, you got to get a piece of it. That's your job, no matter where it's at. The only time you can take it is if the ball's going to bounce, and go ahead, take that pitch. But anywhere else, you have to at least foul it off, protect the runner.
Checking those signs out from Joey Cora. Get all this stuff down in spring training. Luplo off again. And they will not get the double play. Tune in tomorrow night when the Penguins take on Taylor Hall and the New Jersey Devils. The Metropolitan Division clash with playoff implications on the line. It's the second half of our Bucks and Pucks doubleheader here on AT&T Sportsnet. So join us at 6:30 for Pens pregame as we get you set for the Pens and Devils. And now one of many minor leaguers who are over from Pirate City getting a chance. Here is Jeremias Porto-Real.
Wow, you killed that, Greg.
Do you think I did?
Yes.
Well,
now, I know that, you know, you're...
Oh, don't start.
Oh, your pronunciations are
start.
always a thing of beauty, but that one was
Do
sweet.
not start.
Dulce, not sweet. That was dulce.
Puerto Real played the Gulf Coast League last year.
The GCL.
Played in 52 games, the GCL.
They play most of their games over at Pirate City, I believe. Well, all of them. They don't obviously break them. The Marauders play here in this ballpark.
Florida State League Marauders.
No lights over there too, all day games. So this got to be a thrill for him, not only playing in a major league game, but being under the lights.
First time for him under the lights.
Could knock in the tying run.
I don't know. We'll have to do some investigative work for next spring to find out if most teams are as aggressive as the Pirates are in bringing up from minor league camp not just high level minor leaguers but lower level minor leaguers to play in these games. And he's down on strikes.
It can be a little bit of an eye opener for some of these, very young guys that are played rookie ball, that sort of thing, to come up and have this kind of a experience.
Adam Frazier is hitless in 3 trips.
Has he gone more than 3 plate appearances without a hit this spring? Not the games I've seen him play.
Toward left center field. A nice play made by DJ Davis, the new center fielder. We'll head back to our North Shore studios once again. Another WB Mason spring break. Once again, Rob and Michael.
Greg and Bob, we're back here at PNC Park inside the ballpark. This is the batting cage right here. You would normally get this used before you went out onto the field, get yourself limbered up, but it's also used for guys that are going to pinch hit throughout the course of the game. So talk us through that process a little bit.
Yeah, pregame you come in, do your own routine. Everybody's a little bit different. Got to get ready for that game, whatever you got to do. During the game, you actually come in, just like we did in the weight room. You have those mobility things. They'll be laying around all over the place. Guys will be stretching. You'll have the game on the monitors. You'll be able to see who's pitching, what's going on. They'll have pitch counts. You'll have the screens you can pull up at any time to see anything you want. And then after you get loose, maybe run around a little bit, throw a couple balls. Most guys start off the tee and they just start going tight. They start with it close to them, working in and through the ball, getting their barrel on plane soon. So it's traveling right back up the middle. That's normally how it worked with most of us.
Will you have other players up here? Let's say you're into a game and then there might be 2 or 3 options that Clint Hurdle wants to use, left-hand or right-hand, or there are going to be multiple guys up here?
Right. So you play the game with the manager. So you try to figure out, okay, when can I be used? How am I going to be used? Who am I good with? Who am I not so good with? So that way you understand, hey, I may pinch hit here. Let me go get loose. For me, I had to come up early, get it done, and head to the bullpen because I always want to be with my pitching staff.
All right, we know Michael can hit one off the tee. We're going to put him on the spot here. A little soft toss.
All right.
Let's see if we got it.
If I got it.
Hitting duties. You ready? Here we go.
Broke the
Blistered up
cage.
the middle. That's an RBI
Yes.
single up the middle, guys.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, let's head back to Greg and Bob now at Lecom Park in Bradenton.
Nice work.
Yeah, I like it. Still got it.
Yes, sir. The Fort. 4-3 ball game here. Heading to the 8th.
One of the most memorable moments for me was the Fort's home run.
Yes.
Remember that, the game winner?
Of Carlos Marmol.
What just a great feeling. I think that gave us all.
I think that was when you really felt like the team had turned the corner. I think that was 2012, I believe. So the team didn't go to the postseason, but it was like the statement game.
Yes.
Like the Pirates are now no longer cellar dwellers, and they are going to be forced to be reckoned with in the division. Carlos Marmol was
one of the
as good as it got.
best closers in the game at that time. Michael took him deep.
Big crowd that night. Everybody in the ballpark sensed that moment. Justin Smoke faces Michael Felice. Let's go down to Robbie and Felipe.
Yeah, Felipe Rivera going into his first full season as the closer for the Pirates. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, it sounds pretty excited. It used to be the closer from day one.
So when you came over from Washington, your role was kind of the guys. Look, people knew what stuff you were capable of doing, but then when you go out and perform the way you did, you should have been an all-star. Let's call a spade a spade. The numbers were spectacular. How do you just describe your time here and how you've evolved into a leader on the team?
I think once I got here, I got pretty confidence with Ray, and that's once a pitching coach gives you that approach. He approached me, and he's like put all his faith on me, and that that means a lot for me.
How much of a difference how much of an impact, I guess I should say, could that have on a guy when you mention like you did about Ray?
I mean, at least to me, it was pretty good. The pitching coaches that I had before, they were kind of tight and close, but I think Ray is pretty open to everybody, and that's the main reason why me and Nova, we're the two guys that came in and traded. But I think Nova and me, we got comfortable in here with Ray, with Clint, with all the coaches in here, and I think that's the main reason.
What about this bullpen? I mean, we don't know what to make of it yet. We don't know what the final guys will be leaving north to Detroit for opening day. But what's been your experience so far with the mix of young and older guys?
I saw Cantos pitching last year, and I think he's going to be the setup. Everybody knows that. But the other guys, they're fighting for a spot, and they're doing their best. So you see them pitch, and you don't know what it's going to be a tough decision.
How about when you see a guy like Michael Felice entering the game? How good is he? He throws a lot of heat.
That's good too. Having a second, well, actually a third or fourth guy, because we got Nebraska's, and then we got
Kyle Crick.
Yeah, Kyle Crick. We got a lot of fire in the bullpen right now, so it's gonna be a tough for the other team though.
So, did you ever envision the day? I remember you told me when you were 16, you threw 75 miles an hour. You've since added almost 30 more miles per hour in velocity on your pitches. What do you make of this journey of yours, not knowing what your role was when you got here, now to being a guy that this team is counting on almost every night?
Not even when I signed, because I didn't know I was going to throw that hard. And looking back, that's a lot of miles per hour. But, it's pretty good, being a starter and then work your way actually down to the closer role is pretty exciting.
All right, well, we wish you best of luck, and thanks for stopping and talking to us, Felipe.
Thank you, guys.
How about not surprising, Greg, to hear Felipe Rivera talk about Ray Searage and what an impact he's had on him, just the latest of many guys he's affected in a positive manner.
That was great to hear, as always. Another pitcher who just speaks so glowingly of Ray Searage. By the way, look at this shift. There is not a soul on the left side of that infield against Kendrys Morales.
I think we should move the outfielders over. Also.
Why not?
I mean,
look at that. That is so bizarre.
It's a beautiful thing. It truly looks like an over-the-line.
Ask about why wouldn't Harrison just play right between Will Craig, who's the new first baseman, and Jordy Mercer? Wonder why they've got him out there in shallow right like that.
Well, if there's a little ball popped out there, he'll be able to take that hit away. And Morales is so slow that he can play deep and get it, field a ground ball and still throw him out. You know, that depth, I think, depends on who's hitting. You can get a lot deeper, you know, with a slow runner. But if there's a ball hit, a line drive out there, something like that, if Harrison is playing shallow like he is, he's got a chance to make that catch. But he's not out there for the ground ball.
Well, don't have to worry
Doesn't
about
matter
it.
anyway.
Felice strikes out the side in order.
Not letting anybody get any hits.
At Lecom, where the Toronto Blue Jays are visiting the Pirates, and you might have noticed all game long these patches that the Blue Jays are wearing. They'll wear them all year, remembering the great Roy Halladay, who perished in a tragic plane crash here in Florida in November at the age of 40. He was piloting the plane that went down in the Gulf of Mexico. And so they will honor Roy Halladay this year, retire that number 32 in the season opener against the Yankees next Thursday. This plane crashed 10 miles west of St. Petersburg. Halladay, who lived near Clearwater, and Harrison just out of the way of that. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jay Hay on base twice. Going to get 4 at bats tonight.
Got hit in the foot the other night. I think he is on record as saying he's not going to stand for it this year.
Fly ball to center. And we're talking about Curtis Granderson hustling on that ground ball earlier. That's good to see Josh Harrison. He was halfway to second base on that routine fly ball to center.
Yeah, he is. Hustle, his middle name.
Yeah.
Jay Hay. He plays the game the correct way, leads by example.
And Colin Moran is on base for a third time. 3 hits for Colin Moran tonight.
Lefty on lefty. A little slicer toward left field.
Tim Meza, the new pitcher. This is Will Craig, over from minor league camp, the Wake Forest product, who was the Pirates' first-round pick 2 years ago. Played here in Bradenton, Florida State League last year for the Marauders, and hit .271, drove in 61 runs. Drafted as a third baseman, started to play a lot of first base last year. And a line drive to left field. It was spanked right into the glove of Harold Ramirez. 2 outs.
Hi, Greg, you could see that ball had some top spin on it. It got out there and really started coming down in a hurry. So you get that spin that's going to make the ball kind of dive, and then you filter or factor in that wind that it's going into. And off the bat, this one looks like it's really going to carry, but not going to carry with the top spin. That's where you got to have that back spin. The old Jason Bay long fly balls that just kept going and going.
So 2 outs, and Cervelli, who lined out to center his last time up, he's singled in a pair and walked. Will Craig. And figure he'd be at Altoona begin this season. He kind of move up the ladder in the Pirates organization. High A-ball team in Bradenton, Florida State League, and then AA Altoona, AAA Indy. Lower A-ball club in West Virginia, the West Virginia Power, South Atlantic League affiliate. They also have a team in Morgantown, the New York Penn League, short season A-ball.
I think it's Altoona that really tells you whether you're going to have a chance or not. You get to that AA level, and that's where it separates the wheat from the chaff, is that what they say? Did I say that right?
That's a good call. Do you?
You get through a AA and you're still one of the better players, you got a shot now at being in the big leagues. A lot of guys go on the 40-man roster after their AA year, if they play well and are worthy of that. And then AA also kind of will tell you that maybe you need to find something else to do.
It's interesting that physically, geographically, you are closer to the major leagues at AA Altoona. So you're so far removed here in Bradenton. It's high A ball, but to your point, as Cervelli looking for an infield hit, he's going to get it. And so that ball was going to go foul, but Vladimir Guerrero decides to try and grab it.
Some inexperience there. You got to let that one roll. I can't believe that this ball was going to stay fair.
Well, at this point right here, It's either fair
Look at that.
or foul. It's a hit anyway.
The next bounce was going to be on the chalk, and then after that, foul territory.
Well, like you said, some inexperience or trying to impress.
No, yeah. More of that than anything. Trying to do everything, make the great, unbelievable play.
New pitcher coming on. Pirates trying to rally here in the 8th. This exhibition game continues in a moment.
You tell your insurance company.
Pirates baseball from spring training, always live with MLB At Bat. The app will keep you connected every day with live radio calls, video highlights, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB At Bat now. It's your #1 Pirates app. Rainer Cruz is the new pitcher as the Pirates try and rally here in the bottom of the 8th. Sean Rodriguez 0 for 3. Got a feeling this is it. Bob talked about this early on. You score 2 early in the first, it's a W, and watch Sean Rod connect here.
Come on, Sean. Make me look good here. I need 2 runs. Oh, yeah, lay off that little ball in on your hands. I need a gap shot to right center. Right, the Bradenton Herald sign. Okay.
Might be up to Luplo. Which is okay, because
Sean's in the driver's seat.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
He's
green light. You give him a green light?
Yeah, he's got a green light here.
Here we go.
But that doesn't mean he's going to swing.
No, I understand.
He can if he wants to.
Exactly.
Right
That's
here.
what the green light means. You see a pitch you like, whack it.
Oh.
What do you think, Bob? It is a. Oh.
I was going to say get foul because I'm thinking if that's fair, it's going to get caught. So
then you start changing your mind a little bit.
Because then I started thinking maybe it's going to sneak in there. As you know, you're watching it as it's getting closer.
I saw it. I know what you're saying.
It's like you don't want to ruin a good putt with an early comment. You know what I mean?
Sounds like Mr. B.
He's back.
Another good putt ruined by a quick comment is one of his favorite lines. Yeah, Mr. Blass is back in the radio booth. Rainer Cruz, a non-roster invitee, signed by these Blue Jays. It's been a while since he's been in the big leagues, 5 years with the Astros. Sean Rod not agreeing.
Must have thought that was low. Guessing. 3-1 fastball. Anything that he thought was high enough, he was going to take a rip. He didn't want to hit that. He's looking for something he can drive on a 3-1 pitch, and that wasn't it.
He draws the walk.
You're right. It'll be Luplo.
Luplo singled sharply to left his last time up. Luplo probably on the outside looking in at that final position spot. He did play in 27 big league games last year. Started at AA Altoona, on to AAA Indy, and then to the major leagues. An outstanding 2017 campaign. All said and done in the minors, hit .302 with 23 homers. Was the Pirates minor league player of the year. Former third-round pick back in 2014. Fresno State product takes a ball, 1-1.
After the McCutcheon trade, Luplo was looking to get an awful lot of playing time on left field, I think.
And figured to get a lot of playing time in left field at the start of this year. That was before the trade for Corey Dickerson.
That's what I mean. Before that trade, after the trade of McCutcheon, and before the trade for Corey, I mean, he and Frazier probably going to be a left field platoon, perhaps.
And Neil Huntington had talked to Luplo and Frazier about that. Said that unless they were to acquire a veteran, and only one veteran in mind, and that was Corey Dickerson, became available. They traded Daniel Hudson and a minor league shortstop infielder to get Dickerson. And that got past Luplo.
He's asking if that ball was on the plate or not.
That Buccaneer wants a rally. A Bucco rooting for the Buccos.
Notice he's got the red coat on. That's the way he can go up and to be a Buccaneer fan during the winter.
Yeah. Caught looking.
Not good.
Go to the ninth here. Pirates will have one more shot. Oh,
hey,
bundled up. There he is.
Look who's back.
Yeah, and we go back to our North Shore studios for the W.B. Mason spring break with Rob King and Michael McHenry.
That's a tough act to follow. Reiner Cruz getting the strikeout there of Luplo in that inning, the half inning before Michael Feliz. You know, it amazes me watching him. You see where Rivero's strikeout stuff comes in. The moves all over the place. The velocity jumps up. Feliz 94, 95, strikes out the side, and he's always been a high strikeout guy. Why do some guys have that knack to get the strikeout?
I mean, the way these guys were taking swings and the way that they were approaching their bats, they look clueless. I mean, you see Smoker, he looked like he had no idea what was coming. He was uneasy in the box, a little wobbly. See Grichuk right there swinging a ball, almost hit him in the face. And then you see the veteran right here, Kendrick Morales. I mean, these guys just got dominated right there. He reminds me a lot of a Juan Nicasio type fastball guy. It just kind of disappears. Some guys have that ability. Jason Grilli, when I was here, had that disappearing fastball. We call it the Invisa heater. So, I mean, this guy is really special. I think he's going to be very good for the Pirates. He's a guy that could step in as a closer in the long run, or a guy that could be the 8th inning guy, 7th inning guy. You have a lot of good problems to have in that bullpen right now.
We don't have a huge amount of time, but I have to ask you, how much credit does Ray Searage get for tightening up Rivero and maybe tightening up Feliz a little bit here? Because the control, I think, has been the one thing kind of holding him back a little bit.
Right. Rivero actually just talked about how Ray was the guy that helped him get back in the zone. And you watch Feliz right now, his biggest problem coming to the organization was walks. His walk ratio was very high. He was in the zone right there throwing backdoor sliders, throwing a nasty fastball with a lot of movement. I mean, Ray Searage is one of the best.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really going to be intriguing, guys, to see how well this bullpen holds up for the Pirates. A lot of talent down there, certainly for Ray Searage and company to deal with as we head back to the guys at Lecom Park.
Gentlemen, thanks. And there is Uncle Ray with his new assistant pitching coach, Justin Message, added to the staff this year. Looking over all the charts. And here is Josh Smoker heading down the home stretch and looking for that maybe final bullpen spot.
Yeah, they may have a little, extra time to make that decision. That with that DH in use, when they get up to Detroit, they will have a spot for an extra pitcher. An extra, what, 3 games to maybe prove your worth in a real game. Be interesting to see the decisions they make for opening day as far as how are they going to play it with the DH rule to start the season.
Smoker pitched for the Mets last couple years, and hit toward deep right center. And another opposite field home run. This from John Birdie, his first at bat of the game. Birdie had come on to play second base in the bottom of the 8th.
That's what we were looking for last inning. Somebody to get one out there hard toward right center. Up and away fastball, and he hit it where it was pitched. Right over Sonny's.
Well, Smoker gives up the opposite field home run to Birdie. Smoker had pitched scoreless ball in his first 4 outings and has given up at least a run in each of his last 3. But again, it's so many times and so important to really underscore that the statistics really don't tell much of the story in spring training. Here is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's been impressive. Perhaps a superstar in the making. So hard to predict.
A little different body type than his dad.
Yeah. A lot different. When these scouts project, they do try to project body types. And this guy's just 19, so he's already like he's kind of filled out. Then at 19, you wonder if down the road it's first base or DH.
But he's already got his name written on the pads.
How about that? Vladdy Jr.
That's what happens when you have a Hall of Famer for a dad. How old is he, 19?
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Low A ball last year for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Hit .323, 13 homers, 76 RBIs. There, souvenir time. Josh Smoker strikes out Vladimir Guerrero. Brings up Bo Bichette. We're going to get to our day automotive this day in Pirates history. Going to go way back. How about this? Spring training for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hot Springs, Arkansas. Shot taken supposedly on this very day in 1912. Hot Springs, Arkansas, where the Pirates and a handful of other teams used to make spring
Greg,
training.
I read, got into your desk there in your cave at work a couple of times and read some of those old media guides,
yes,
going back in those days.
Yep.
And there were some times where they would leave here with like 2 weeks left and go through Arkansas and just kind of like, barnstorm their way north. it would have the train schedule and where they were going to be at and all the different times as they just worked their way all the way back up to the Northeast.
Well, of course, back then there were just a handful of teams in Major League Baseball, and they decided to start preparing for the baseball season in the early 1900s, and decided that they would travel a little south and made Hot Springs, Arkansas their southern home for a time, but not just the Pirates, but 3 or 4 other clubs.
Hey, need somebody to play.
And that 1912 team, just 3 years removed from a World Series championship. Of course, Honus Wagner was in that picture. Manager Fred Clark. Some of the great Pirates of all time. And they have trained in a number of cities over these many years as the Pirates get ready for their 132nd season in the National League. A lot of years in Hot Springs, Arkansas. They trained in Birmingham, Alabama, Jacksonville, San Bernardino, California for many years. Muncie, Indiana for 3 years in the 40s.
I wouldn't think that would be, you know why, one of the reasons why the early 40s they did that, I saw the other day that they weren't allowed to travel during the war years very far.
Yep.
So, you know, Muncie, Indiana, it's kind of still cool there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, you saw the picture of Hot Springs, Arkansas. Those guys all had the heavy sweaters.
They spent a lot of time in the water.
Yeah.
Trying to warm up.
Yeah. Of course, we've talked a lot this spring about the fact that this is year number 50. The Pirates training in Bradenton, up from Fort Myers. Pirates were in Fort Myers from 1955 through 1968. Jansen to right. Luplow, the catch. And we'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Before we do that, back to our North Shore studios, this W.B. Mason spring break with Rob King and Michael McHenry.
Thanks very much, guys. I want to tell you a little bit about what we have coming up in the post-game show. You're going to have a chance to talk to your old pal, Ray Searich.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Miss old Ray. He's one of a kind, that's for sure.
We'll be talking to him about Chad Kuhl, also Michael Feliz, and some of the other position battles that Ray might be keeping an eye on. We'll also look at Colin Moran, who did a nice job here in this game and is going to be the guy holding down the third base position for the Pirates.
Yeah, he's been good all spring. He's continued to hit. He hasn't shown a lot of power yet, but that line drive ability that he has been fun to watch. He stays inside the baseball, works real hard to be better at first or better at third, and he moves around well. It's going to be fun to watch him play throughout the year.
We talked a little bit about the bench. Robbie Inzbikowski is going to be featuring that in the post-game show. We're also going to be taking a look at the off-season moves made in the division. Look, we're not going to look at every team totally in depth, but we're going to go through them. And this is going to be a really competitive division. I think the Reds at the bottom have gotten stronger. Milwaukee has had a very interesting offseason. The Cubs change out one starter for another. This is going to be another tough division again.
I think it's going to be very competitive. I think there's a lot of good players in this division. It's going to be fun to see how it all shakes out. There's a lot of question marks at the bottom, but Cincinnati's got a very good pipeline. They've got a lot of kids coming up. Nick Senzel is one of the top prospects in all of baseball. He has a chance to be their starting shortstop, fill in for Cozart. There's a lot of question marks throughout this league, but the two at the top don't have many, and everybody else is kind of chasing them in the Cubs and St. Louis, so we'll see what happens.
Well, more work for Greg and Bob to do prior to spring training's conclusion. Of course, they'll be opening the season on the road, but looking forward to you guys at the home opener, and hopefully the Bucs will have a nice, maybe a 3-0 record. How would that be heading into the home opener at PNC Park? Guys, thanks very much all evening and all spring training long.
Rob and Michael, thanks so much. We're really thrilled to have Michael McHenry, the Fort, with us. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I want to definitely add to that. Michael, we really love having you with us, and it's going to be a lot of fun this year. Going to have a lot of good talks.
We've been Michael McHenry fans for a long time, and it is great to see him back in the Berg.
He is good people.
Yep. Chad Dorado.
Hey,
Fort, it's good to have you.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for the kind words. I'm really excited to be a part of this team.
Well, we're not just saying it. We mean it. You were always been one of our favorites, and when we heard you were coming aboard, couldn't have been better news.
Well, I appreciate it. You guys are the best in the business, in my opinion, and I was just ecstatic to be selected to be a part of this team, for sure.
We are indeed thrilled to have the fort here, and we're obviously thrilled to work with Kent Tecalvi all those years.
Matika's been down here for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know, did he, I think he headed
back.
He went back, yeah, but he was down here for a while, getting out of that snow.
Here's the rally now. Coming up. Ball 4.
Oh, is there a better way to start it than a leadoff walk?
Oh. Tomorrow, don't forget, another Bucks and Pucks day here on AT&T Sportsnet. We're going to get it all started with the Pirates and Phillies. 1 o'clock right here at Lee Com. And then don't forget to stick around for the Pens and Devils in the nightcap.
I mean, the baseball gods just love to punish a pitcher for walking the leadoff hitter in a close game in the 9th inning. They're like, okay, this is the way you want it to go?
Michael De La Cruz pinch running, and now pinch hitting is Dylan Busby for the Pirates, who played for the West Virginia Black Bears in Morgantown last season. Dylan Busby, a 3rd-round pick last year, signed out of the Sarasota area. This ball is out of play, a Florida State product. Scouted by Darren Mazeroski, Maz's son. I'll tell you, there have been a lot of players this spring who have come over from minor league camp who were signed by Darren Mazeroski, a Pirate scout for a lot of years. And Busby with a fly ball to the gap.
Get through. Didn't have that skip, but
well, you
that's
need,
all right.
you need a couple runs. Need three runs.
Yeah. I want a gapper. I want that tying run at second base.
Dylan Busby.
I want. You know how I am. Just kind of sliced it out there. Didn't really have a lot of giddy up on it, so it didn't shoot that gap.
Well, here's Adam Frazier looking for his first hit.
How about a walk-off home run, man?
Ooh, that would be sweet.
That would be nice.
Facing Chad Jurado. Josh Harrison on deck. 2 starters getting 5 at bats. Getting down to cases. We head toward the home stretch. Jay Hay will be starting a week from today in Detroit at second base. Just a matter of where he's going to be in the lineup. Will he bat second? Will Frazier be the DH against the Tigers? Jordan Zimmerman, the righty, will be the Tigers starter against Ivan Nova. And 1 week from this coming Monday, the home opener at PNC Park against the Twins. Three and one. Hit hard and a base hit for Frazier.
There they come.
And it's now a 1-run game.
This could be a Will Craig. Remember how hard he hit that ball first time he got up there? Could be a walk-off hit of some sort by him. Be a righty on lefty.
Josh Harrison
Nice clean base hit to the right side. Craig is in the hole, right?
Yep. Pete Walker, the pitching coach for Toronto. Alfredo Reyes running at first for Frazier. Another minor leaguer.
He can motor.
You saw a
inside the park home run by the very first game I saw. I think that was it game 3 of the season. He went off the top of the fence. Lakeland circled the sacks.
So nobody out. Pirates trailing by 1. Why not, huh? Our first night game telecast of the year on AT&T Sportsnet. Harrison's double in the 3rd led to the 3rd run. Also walked in the 5th. Got the young pitcher on the mound, Chad Gerardo. Walked the leadoff man, Mercer. And Dylan Busby, a pinch hit single. John Gibbons there on the bench. Skipper watching Chad Gerardo, the Mississippi State product, who just gave up the RBI single to another Mississippi State alum.
Good eye.
Just missed.
I had to hold my breath on that one a little bit. That one was close. Inside. Smidgen, just smidgen.
Three-two count. Not looking for the first out.
Be right down the middle. Don't know what happened there with Jehe. That was not mid-season like. Yeah, it wasn't right down the middle, but definitely looked like he had the plate. There's been some low strikes called in the last couple of innings. That was probably at the knees or so. The Luplo got called out down there. We saw a low one on a 3-1 pitch to Sean Rodriguez.
Home plate umpire Jeremy Rehak, Murraysville native, lives in Cranberry. He hopes to see some big league time. In fact, he will see some major league time this year. He and Jansen Visconti, another rookie umpire from Latrobe, both spent about 6 weeks in the Arizona Fall League this year. 6-week audition. Hoping to make it to the big leagues for the first time this year. 3-0 on Moran, and Will Craig on deck. 3-hit night for Colin Moran. And the green light. 3-1. Toronto was drafted in the 9th round in 2013 by these Blue Jays. There's Will Craig. Roller. And you get the out at first. Setting the stage for what could be a dramatic game-winning hit here for Will Craig. With 2 outs, would score a couple. Craig lined out to left field in his 8th inning at bat. He is over from minor league camp. Drafted in the 1st round by the Pirates out of Wake Forest. Couple of strikes.
Still got time. I don't like that last one there. If I run into Rehack out at Lowe's or something, I'm going to have to tell him about that last pitch.
'22nd overall pick 2 years ago by the Pirates. I don't think they're doing extra innings anymore in spring training.
I haven't seen anybody even warm up for possible extra innings. That's a foul ball.
They used to play extra innings, maybe 10, maybe 11. Now I think baseball's decided it's not worth it.
It's a practice game. Why do that?
That's exactly right. This is a scrimmage.
It's just could never really understand it before why you would do that.
Ooh.
Ouch. You're all right. Come on, Will. You've got this guy. Oh, right off his knee.
Ow.
He's fine. Look at him. He didn't care. He doesn't have any of those custom shin guards or arm guards on. His name on it. He's just ready to win the game right now. Inside.
2-2. Francisco Cervelli might have a shot.
There it is. Winning base hit right here.
Here it comes. Chopper. Third to first and the ball game.
That's spring training. My predicting is a little rusty right now.
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
A week from today, you'll be spot on.
Fine,
yeah. So 5-4, the Blue Jays win it as the first and only home night game in spring training is in the books, and in a week we'll get it going for real. Coming up, we're going to head to a timeout, be back with Rob King and Michael McHenry. They're going to chat with Chad Kuhl and Ray Searage, so stick around for that. Post game is next. And we will talk to you again tomorrow for our next telecast. But stick around. Rob and Mike will be right back as the Pirates fall to the Blue Jays here at Lecom.